How's it going, everybody, and welcome back to Funkle's Rides. So yeah, it is still very early in the morning, and we are basically picking up where we left off yet again, guys. You all know the story by now. So in the last episode, we managed to upgrade the office to level 3, which is quite a bit of a step up. We now even have got the display podium inside there, so that's kind of looking pretty decent. And I also went ahead and did all of the parts repairs off camera, like I said. So everything is now completely fixed up. And along with that, we also did some more upgrades to the car wash, and things are looking pretty good for us, guys. So we are currently working towards reputation level 8, which will unlock I think the level 3 mechanical workshop for us, which means we will have a mechanic that's going to do all of the, dedicated work for us on vehicles like this. So what I also need to do still, I think first of all I need to probably pay the employees. I don't know if I need to still do that. Okay, so it's kind of a little bit more money now. So yeah, we're just going to wait for our employees to show up at, I think at 8 o'clock they pitch up, and then we're going to get the Gale cleaned up, well, de-rusted, and then the little striker that we've got over here, it still needs to be washed and de-rusted. I think this thing has got some, it's got some issues as well that we need to address. Same with the Gale, I think, if I remember correctly. No, the Gale, it's also quite a bit knackered, so we'll have to get that repaired. So I think let's start with the Phantom Voyager. Yeah, that's what this thing is called. And we are going to start sorting out the mechanic side of things on this car as well. I think let's start disassembly. I mean, that's what we're going to do. We're going to fix everything. And fortunately we do have got the repair machine that we can utilize to fix up these parts now. So that's kind of great. We don't have to buy everything brand new every time. And I think we've got quite the collection of parts. So hopefully we'll be able to sort this all out. And I'll obviously have to repair these parts again manually. I'll probably do it off camera again, or we'll see whichever way it works out. Alright, so yeah, that's a kind of same, it's like a repeat of everything that we've been doing these past couple of episodes. So that's why I really want to see if we can get to that reputation level 8, which should be great. And would you look at that, we've got a customer. Okay, let's take this wheel off and let's quickly help our customer. It's actually this way. Yeah, we are selling the van. Alright. 15,500. All yours, ma'am. Alright, so that van is gone. And yeah, that actually gave us a little bit of reputation. Alright, let's continue. We were busy stripping this side. Alright, take this caliper off, brake disc. And then we will take off the pin link. I think that's what they call this thing. Yeah, suspension pin. Alright, take that off, and that is that stripped. Okay, let's do the rear shocks and wheels and everything. Alright, there we go. Pop that off. And we go over to this side. We'll do this shock. Just get it all disassembled. I figured it's a little bit quicker just doing all of the disassembly, and then we'll do the assembly of everything again. Alright, I love the fact that you can repair all the parts, and even if they are like at 0%, you can still, refurbish them. So I guess it's kind of like a magic thing that we chuck them into. Alright, so there we go. This corner is stripped, and now we can just take the exhaust off. Alright, let's take this off. Alright, and then we'll do this. Take this manifold off. There we go. Alright, yeah, this thing has got a lot of bolts on it. There we go. Right, now we can undo the resonator. Again, last but not least, just the catalytic converter. Let's take this off. And then I think we start here. We start assembling. So let's put the new catalytic converter on. Or the repaired one, rather. And then we'll continue from there. Right, so it's so nice having all the new parts ready to rock and roll now. Alright, let's do the manifold. Yep, just gotta get all those screws back in there. Alright, it's already 8:25, so we can probably pull our cars into the base so that the guys can start working on it. Let's do that quickly, then we'll continue with this. Alright, so the Phantom Gale, gonna give it to Robert. Alright, Robert, take it away, bud. Alright, you are still on auto execute, yeah. So that's perfect. And then, how about James? Yeah, he's also on auto execute, so that's perfect. Let's just get this thing pulled forward. Why does it look like this thing's sitting skew? Awkward, I don't know. Looks like it's a little bit lower on this side. It might be the tire pressures, so we'll have to check that out. Alright, so there's been an update to the game, and they added this, thing when you're sitting in the car. It tells you if the tires are low as well now, which is kind of cool. Alright, let's continue with this. We gotta button up this exhaust system. Alright, nice and easy. And let's go back to the muffler. Just pop the new one in. Alright, easy does it. Okay, let's start at the front with the shock absorbers. Yeah, just button everything up. Alright, so there we go. That is sorted. Now we do the suspension pin, which is sometimes hard to get to. Come on, let's just get it. There we go. Alright, are we now in disassembly mode again? Yes, we were. Alright, let's get this thing bolted down or screwed down. There we go. Alright, and then the disc and the caliper. That's the wrong one. Alright, let's see. Take it off again. I was just looking for the green, which that one is 75%. Alright, make sure we get those 100% parts on here. Alright, I can't recall if I did the battery. Might have to check it. Battery and... well, I can actually do it from here, I think. No, I can't. Okay. We'll see now. I might have to scan the vehicle again. Alright, Robert is done with the Phantom Gale, so that means it's going to be probably ready for the next phase, which would be probably mechanical work. Alright, can I just get to this? Yeah, this is sometimes a little bit hard to get to. I think the Striker is also going to need some mechanical work, so we're going to try and sell some pretty good cars here. We don't want to sell junk, stuff that's got blinking lights and stuff on the dash. And another thing I decided to stop doing is the odometer manipulation, because it doesn't really add much value to the cars. So, yeah, well, at least in my experience, it's not really adding that much value, so it's also kind of being a shady car dealer, which I do not want to continue being a shady car dealer, so we're just going to stop doing that altogether. And it's also kind of, as I said, not really worth it. Alright, let's just get this buttoned up here nicely. Alright, and then rear brakes, brake discs. Yeah, I keep wanting to grab that 75% one. Not that I think it was going to be a big train wreck at all. Alright, so let's go over to the other side and do this side. And then this car should be mechanically sorted. Alright, wheel back on. Alright, sorted. So that is now job done. Alright, yeah, I need to scan the vehicle again. Okay, let's quickly do that. Scan tool. Right, so we still need to replace the battery. Okay, we did everything else, so that's kind of decent. So it's just the fuses are not either damaged or we did those already. I can't recall now. Alright, so it's just the battery that we need to swap out. Alright, here we go. Let's undo this. Cables off, battery out. Okay, and then we'll put the new one in. Nice and simple. Alright, so that is everything that we can do to this car. I think it should be good now. Everything should be at 100% except for the body. Well, the wash state, the polishing, and also the engine, radiator, and clutch, which we cannot do anything to it yet. So, yeah, we still got that blinking tire light, or low pressure. Alright, let's get this Gale out of here, because this needs to go over to the repair shop on that side, and we'll have this car de-rusted. Right, Robert, take it away. Are you doing it? There we go. Okay, perfect. And then this can go over to the mechanic shop. Yeah, we actually moved the cars over there because they were kind of like blocking the, well, the storage unit there. Alright, let's park this up here. Okay, let's start under the hood. Alright, fuses. Are we good on fuses? I don't know. Doesn't really tell me, and I don't want to struggle with it too much, so let's just do a scan. Alright, fuses are at 100%, so it's just the battery. Alright, let's do the battery. Alright, getting these cables off sometimes is a little bit finicky. You have to click it in a very specific place. Same with the reinstallation. Alright, battery is in, and now we can get this thing lifted. And I should probably queue this car up behind the other one there. I wonder, did I unlock the gas station? I did, but I don't know if level 2 is available yet. I actually wanted to check that. And what customer? Oh, it's probably the car inside. I forgot about this one. Hello, ma'am. Yes, all yours. 55.5. Yeah. That is a good money. That's some good money. Alright, let's just see here, because I want to really get level 2 now. There we go. 30,000. Let's just do it. So now we can air up our own tires, and we can also probably go and buy the tanker. I think it will be fine if I buy the tanker, because we've got 3 cars to sell. The Gale, the Voyager, and also the Striker. Alright, let's move this quickly over to the wash bay here by James. Okay, James, there you go, bud. Wash it up. Are you doing the thing? There we go, he's doing the thing. Okay, and then Robert can take care of the bodywork on that, and then we can air up our tires here now. So that's pretty nifty. I'm actually so glad I did this now. And then we can go and buy the fuel tanker, and then we can also get some fuel over here. So I think let's go ahead and do that. It is Sunday, so the pawn shop is closed, so we're not going to be able to sell any of the stuff. I actually put the exhaust tape in here as well, because we don't really need it now, because, you know, it's been kind of redundant now that we can repair the parts. Alright, so let's start this machine. I'm going to keep the broken parts in my inventory, just for now. Right, onwards to the gas station. We're gonna go and pick up that trailer for 70,000 bucks, guys. That's quite a big chunk of change, but definitely gonna make our lives a little bit easier in filling up the vehicles from now on. At least that way we can also fill up our own vehicle if we need it to, our van over here. Alright, so we need to quickly pop into the gas station. Alright, need keys. Yeah, of course. Okay. How's it, bud? Yeah, I would like to buy your fuel trailer outside. There we go. Alright, sorted. That I know how to do, so I can just get this thing hooked up. Alright, easy does it. Alright, hook it up to the van. And then we're going to bring it over to this station over here, which is, yeah, pretty simple. Just park it in the yellow circle. We're gonna open this hatch. We're gonna grab the hose. We're gonna pop it into there. And then we will autofill this. So, here we go. This is gonna probably take a couple of seconds to fill, but it's not that bad. It's actually pretty quick, considering it's, what, 1,000 liters? Thousand and 3 liters to be exact. Okay, and we'll just be nice and close the hatch again. Alright, let's hit the road. I think we can actually fill up both the tanks now with our tanker here. But that's going to require us to come back and, you know, fill up this thing again. So, but I think for now the one is going to be fine. We'll manage with this. You can actually just pump it directly out of the tanker as well. You don't have to have the underground thing. But I decided to do it just because we wanted the, you know, the air pump thing. Alright, there we go. Let's get this thing unloaded. We'll open hatch 1. I think that's tank 1. And simple as that. And there it goes. Now it's gonna fill up tank number 1. Yeah, look at that. So it's gonna fill up to 100. And that is going to be 1,000 liters. Or, I don't know how many gallons that translates to. But, yeah, our tank 1 is going to be full. Alright, let's just wait for it to finish filling. And that should be close. And that's done. Alright, now we can go ahead and close this up, and I think the trailer will just park it over there somewhere, I guess, because now, yeah, I don't really have any other place to put this thing, so it can just sit out here. Alright, let's just try and straighten it out a bit. There we go, just drop it there, and well, that is almost an accident, again. Alright, so let's just park the van there for now. Okay, so he's done with the Phantom. Phantom Voyager. Right, so we need to air up the tires on this thing. Alright, now which ones need air? Let's just check. And this is considered a wagon, so that is, I believe, 2.9 bar all round. So all 4 of the tires need to be aired up. And these cones, yeah, the hitbox for those are kind of questionable. Alright, so let's go 2.9 bar. It says it there, 2.9, so I think that is good. Alright, 2.9. Yeah, this one is quite low. Alright, 2.91, that's good enough. I'm happy with that. Let's do this side, and then we will just pump them up all round. That's a little bit too far, 2.9. Okay, perfect. And the last one, I'll rather go this way, because there we're going to get stuck on the freaking cones. Alright, 2.9 bar. Oops, there we go. 2.90, perfect. Okay. Next up, gas. Let's get this thing filled up with gas. Which side is the... Yeah, it's on that side, obviously. Alright. Park that up there, and then this car should be ready to be put on sale. Auto pump fuel, there we go. Quick and easy. And close that up. Alright, full tank of gas, tires aired up. This thing has been repaired to the best of our ability. And now we can go and park it. Photograph it, and then, yeah, just put it up for sale, I guess. But I think let's just continue working on the other cars. We still need to do quite a bit of work to the Phantom Gale over there. And the Striker also needs a little bit of attention, I believe. He should be done with the bodywork now. Let's check it out. Okay, there's nothing in the trunk. Yeah, this is going to need some serious work still. Alright, you know what? I think let's leave it here. Yeah, that tire is definitely quite low. So we'll come and add that up later. Let's just quickly sort out the Gale completely. We gotta do all of the mechanical work on it. And then this thing should also be ready to go and be sold, you know. That's kind of what we do. Alright, so let's take off this all together. Alright, well. Yeah, this is definitely something you'd want to upgrade. Getting your employees to do this kind of work for you, because this is quite tedious. And especially considering everything is exactly the same, because everything you do, it's kind of like a repeat the whole time. Alright. And I see our repair machine is done, so we can also go and take those parts out and put the other ones in. Let me do that, because otherwise I'm going to end up having a inventory full of crap parts. Alright, let me just do this. Can we lock all of it together? Yeah, we can. Okay, so now that can be chucked in the van. Yeah, I do want to take this out, so that... and this... just take it out. Okay, everything's fixed. And that way we always only have decent parts in our storage here, and then the crap parts can stay in the van. And we'll take it out of the van and put it into the repairs machine, you know, just like that. So this is kind of how I do it. This is kind of my way of doing it. I don't know. There might be a better way of doing it. I don't know, but I guess it is what it is. So just leave that back in the van. And that can be, you know, repaired, and then we'll just repeat, rinse and repeat until eventually we are, you know, at that stage where we can have our employee do everything for us. Alright, so we assembled, disassembled the exhaust, so now let's disassemble the rest of the mechanical parts under here, the wheels and brakes and suspension. Alright, take that off, and then let's try and aim for that suspension pin. Alright, get this thing off. Yeah, so my progress might be a little bit slower than what you guys would like to see, but I think it's just better to try and do a decent job in the cars, because that's kind of, after all, what it's about. A car dealer, you know, doing the best you can. So eventually we will reap the rewards and be able to move things a lot quicker. But for now, I think I'm just going to enjoy the process of climbing the ladder and making sure these cars are as good as we can get them, you know. At least most of them. Alright, take off this shock absorber. Alright, and then we move over to this side. Gotta take all of this off. Yeah, I don't really know if the game intends you to fix up every single car the way that I do it, but I guess it's also your own preference. Just the way I would like to do it. But I do, however, think if you sold the cars, you know, in non-running condition, you actually lose reputation. So that's maybe something to just also take note of. Is not, that's kind of why I'm also not selling the other junkers that we've been picking up with the, you know, the tow dolly. And that's kind of why they're sitting around and waiting until we can get them running. Okay, so that should be everything stripped off, I believe so. Now we need to go ahead and assemble everything again, starting with our exhaust. Alright, put on the exhaust tailpipe. There we go. That's going to have 2 screws over there. Right, now we need to do this. Let's get our catalytic converter in. And we have to go back into assemble mode for this. There we go. Resonator. Alright, and then manifold. Yeah, some of these angles are a little bit weird. And this is, at this angle you cannot change anything, so it's kind of strange, I guess. Oh well, it is what it is. Right. Shock absorber going in. We are getting there. We are getting there. We are definitely gonna sell these vehicles for top dollar. Because we are doing such a great job with it, fixing everything up that we need to, or at least want to, you know. Alright, get over to this corner over there. Let's get the discs on. Now we gotta check carefully because we've got a bunch of old parts. Needs to be repaired first. Alright, so there we go. This corner is sorted. And let's go over to this side. Alright, shock absorber. Did I already install that suspension pin? What does it look like it's there? Is it there? Yeah, it is there. Okay. I didn't take the old one off. That's kind of what's going on here. Okay, well, you know what? Not a big train wreck. We'll just do it quickly. Alright, out with the old and then pop a new one in there. Alright, hopefully I didn't miss anything else. Alright, let's go over to this wheel. Brake disc, 100%. Caliper, 100%. And get the wheel back on. Alright, just like that. Easy does it. Good job. Let's go this way. Alright. Rear suspension. Alright, let's do this corner. Let's finish it up. Button this up. Alright, one more corner to go. Well, first got to get this wheel on. Alright, let's do this last one. Starting with the shock. There we go. I think I've got all the new parts on now. Yeah, let's just do this last brake disc and caliper and stuff. There we go. Put that on, put that on. Yeah, I'm not too sure when exactly, in what episode we are going to reach reputation level 8. But it doesn't really matter to me, guys. This is kind of, you know, the game. And have fun playing it at your own pace. No need to be rushing through things. And lovely, our repair machine is done again. Okay, so let's go ahead and dump the parts in the van. Take the new one out of the repair machine, or the fixed ones. And just carry on, you know, that's kind of how we do it. And if you stay on top of this, it's not such a big chore. I mean, there we go. Everything is out. Well, I nearly chucked it in there. We'll just chuck it in here. Start the machine. And back into the van it goes. Alright. What else did I have in the van there? Was there some candy in the van? Was this a candy van? Yeah, I've got candy in the van. It's a candy van. Nice. Oh, luckily it's not a white candy van. Alright, so Phantom Gale should be done. Let's just do a quick scan on this thing. Yeah, just wheels and gas. Let's get this thing over to our bay over here for, first of all, the tires. We need to air up the tires. I think this thing was considered, what, a muscle car, I believe? Yeah, muscle car. Okay, so muscle cars and these cones are ridiculous. What's the pressure for a muscle car? Muscle car 2.9, same as the wagon. Alright, let's get these tires to 2.9 bar exactly, if we can. Always a challenge getting that thing exactly spot on. Alright, 2.91, that's good enough. I'm happy with that. Alright, 2.9. 2.91. Looking good. Okay, last one. Let's get this thing aired up to 2.9 bar as well. And then we just need to fill up the gas tank. That's a little too high. 2.91, that's close enough. Okay. Now I'm going to leave that thing attached. So you'll see it will actually come off on its own. See, like that. So you don't have to take it off every time. Alright, let's just put this here for a second. Gotta just fill it up with gas, autofill, pump fuel. Quick and easy. Alright, this Gale is ready for, well, photographs, I guess. Pictures. Alright, park it up there. Yeah, this is starting to look like a classic dealership, you know. Classic car dealership now. Alright. Looking good, guys. We've got ourselves 2 vehicles ready to sell, which I'm going to list once everything is fixed up, because, yeah, don't want to be struggling too much. Okay, let's quickly sort out the striker. I actually forgot for a second where I put it. I think these need to be aired up to 2.1 bar, if I'm not mistaken, because this is a, what is this? This is a hatchback. Alright, 2.1 bar, so it's just a 1 tire. This front left one, we can clearly see that's kind of bad. So hatchback 2.1. There we go. Exactly. Alright, so I just wanted to check this now. All the other ones were good. Alright, so we need to do some fuses and replace the battery. There we go. Alright, so let's quickly have a look at this thing, see if we can get this thing better. Might not have to replace everything on this one. What exactly is the problems here? Well, mostly brakes and suspension, so yeah, it's kind of everything. So it's got nasty holes in the exhaust, so should have actually done the battery and fuses first, but it's okay. We'll do this underneath the car first and sort everything out. This is believable, because this car should probably have a 4-banger and look like this. Though I don't know if it's got the... It might actually have these types of front suspension in it. Oh, I don't really know. The striker, however, does look like it's... From the front, it looks like a VW Golf. And from the rear, it looks like that Mitsubishi. You know, the one that they've got in Mon Bazou, the Prince? Kind of looks like that from the back. And then the front is definitely VW Golf inspired. But it could also be like Lancia Delta Integrale. You know what I mean. There we go, get that taken off, and then this side, let's start with this. Alright, getting there. Alright, so I actually learned a little bit of a lesson doing this series for you guys. So I'm going to, from now on, if we look for cars to buy, I'm going to look for something that is more mechanically sorted for the time being, and then, you know, focus on mostly doing the bodywork and the washing, which our employees can handle. And I think that way we are going to have, you know, less of this happening on the channel. We'll just be mostly focusing on buying and moving the cars about. So I guess we'll see if that's going to work out for us, because I've been playing this game a little bit, well, a lot off camera as well. You know, trying to learn new ways of doing different things and how you can do it differently. So, hopefully today's episode is the last one where we're going to focus so much on mechanical work. I'm going to start focusing more on maybe doing a little bit more streamlined car sales, but we'll see. I don't really want to rush it, as I said. I want to just do my thing, you know, do what I like, and sort things out. That's the fun of it. Alright, so let's get this shock absorber off here as well. Okay, and then the last corner here, and then we can start the assembly. And once I've listed these cars, I think we're gonna start having a look at, see if we can maybe find another one. Start working on. Okay, now it's assembly mode, and starting with the exhaust, we'll put our muffler on. Exhaust tailpipe, just gotta make sure we take the, you know, the good stuff. Gotta get that good stuff, you know. Catalytic converter, and then we go over to this again. Yeah, I'm getting quite good at this now. Or at least I think so. Getting the hang of this. Well, it's been how many episodes? This is episode 10 already, so... And repair machine is done. Great stuff. Then we can also get that sorted. And I think I'm going to give the rollback truck another fighting chance. I actually think I know what the deal is with that thing now. I just need to be, you know, mindful of my surroundings when I try and offload vehicles. And yeah, I don't think the second deck is going to be something that I upgrade on that thing. Because I mean, I can still transport 2 cars with that. And I don't really think you need the upgrade as such, because I think eventually when it really matters, you will have the big truck for half a bar or half a million, which you can also get an employee to drive it for you. So yeah, that's kind of my thinking pattern here. We're not going to be splashing money on the tow truck that we have. Just going to use it as is, and then eventually, yeah, we'll get the big truck. When you get to that stage where you have the big truck, then I think that's when you start unlocking the fleet sales, and eventually we will get the authorized dealership license at, I think, reputation level 18 that unlocks. But I think there's still a bunch of stuff we're going to unlock before that, so it's going to be just one of those things that we eventually take care of. And I didn't take this off again. I think for some reason, I always think that there's only one of these on a car, but there's one on each side. Alright, so you guys probably seen me and shouted at me, Funcle, take off the left bin as well. But there we go. Always come back to it anyway, so it's not really a big deal. Right, so those are all replaced and looking pretty nifty. Let's start on this side. And I just hope I don't put some of the old parts back on, because that would be a bummer, because then I'll have to go back and redo everything again. I can't remember now. Did I change the battery in the Phantom Gale? I think I did. Alright, I have to second guess myself now. Yeah, I have to go and check it out. I always do this. Sometimes I'm looking at a thing, I know I'm doing it, but then when you end up doing something else, you wonder, oh heck, have I done that? And then you start wondering about it, and yeah, I think just put my mind at ease, I'm going to go check it. Right, now before I back out of this, we have got our menu open, so we need to do battery and fuses on this one. Everything else is 100%, except for the stuff that we can't do anything to, so I'm happy with that. Okay, let's do the battery. And alright, let me just come over here. I just want to make sure this thing is sorted now. Yeah, that's good. Okay, why do I second guess myself? Okay, happy days. Alright, let's just sort this one out as well. This one has got some fuses as well that needs to be addressed. Alright, so we've got a blown one over there. We'll replace that. And is that it? No, there's another fuse missing. Okay, there's a fuse missing over there, which is a red one. 50 amp. We've got a fuse missing over there, which is this white one, I think, over there. Come on, there we go. And then there's one missing over there, which is a blue one. 15 amp. Okay, is that all the fuses? That's all the fuses. Okay, battery. Alright, rip this out. Alright, pop the new one in. Put those clamps back on. There we go. I think that is now sorted. Let's just check this thing again. 100%. Well, not 100%, but you know what I mean. 100% of what we can achieve. Except for the gas. Whoops. Nearly forgot the gas. Yeah, I must say the handbrake turns in this game is very underwhelming. I would like to, you know, pop like a nice handbrake turn here, but it doesn't really do it. Alright, full tank gas. Let's get this thing listed for sale, along with the other two. Alright, park it here, and then let's take some photographs. Alright, get this thing Nice in the pictures. Everything is good on these two with pictures. Yeah, we are good. Alright, let's go and get these cars listed. And then we'll have to start all of this over again. Alright, so let's go here. Your ads, advertisement, striker. Start with the striker. So this thing, we're going to sell it not negotiable. And I think let's go over to 9,000 bucks. Nice round number. Phantom Gale next. Alright, so not negotiable. This one can go for 22,500. That's a nice round-ish number. Kind of. And then this one, Phantom Gale. This is our most expensive car that we have at the moment for sale. I think let's go 42,000 straight up. 42k. I'll be happy with that. Okay. So those cars are listed, and I am happy the way that they turned out. All of them running and driving good. Let's quickly go and sort out the parts. Yeah, I keep forgetting we can go through here. Alright, we're going to go and take out the good parts from that machine. Alright, so let me just think. I got to take this into the van. Okay. Take this out. Pop that into our storage, because that's all good parts. Yeah, look at that. We've got quite a collection of parts now. Right, pop this into the machine, get it fixed up, and then back into the van that goes. Alright, so everything should be good. We're sitting at 160 parts out of 500, so we've still got some room for more. Alright. Now we need to start having a look at getting our next vehicle. Let's put the Voyager... Yeah, right over here. There we go. That's gonna hit the sign. That is... Holy moly, that is close. Okay. Alright, I think they didn't really think this through when they made it so that every car can fit on this thing. Because that thing is... I think if you put the double cab pickup truck or, you know, the long Summit, off-rider Summit, that thing's gonna glitch through that thing like nobody's business. You can see there it's barely clearing with the station wagon. But alright, let's do a little bit of shopping. There's another G-Wagon thing here. What's the drivability of it? 50. Nope, and that's also too expensive. We only have 13k to spend. Alright, let's see here. We've got to find something within budget, something that is not terrible in, you know, driving condition. This one is actually good. Let's see how far this one is. It's right across the road from us. Okay. Well, let's take a walk over there. Let's have a look at this thing. Okay. Nearly got hit by a Chevy Caprice there. Alright, what's the story of this car? If this thing's got too many red flags, which it does kind of have some red flags. Nah, not interested in your car. Thanks, ma'am. Gonna look for something better. If it's at least orange and green, or maybe yellow, I think orange is the lowest I would go with the, you know, in terms of color spectrum of worn parts. Let's see. I don't want to go with red parts at all. What else can we afford from this list? Yeah, this... Okay, somebody's not happy with the Voyager's price. What else can we afford? We can afford this. How good is that? That's bad. Looking for something above 60%. This one is not in budget. That's our own car. 40% drivable. 48. I think let's start at the bottom of the barrel here. 45. And these are all expensive. Okay, this one might be one. This is a Canyon. This is our starter truck. Let's go and have a look at this one, guys. I think this one might hopefully be decent. We're gonna need our van and our trailer dolly thing. Or maybe I can use this. Yeah, this is kind of what it's for, so... Let's go see this other car. I don't even remember what it was now. Okay, let's have a look at this thing. See what exactly we are buying. Oh yeah, it's the Canyon. That is a red one. Okay. It actually looks pretty good. It looks good, but the question is mechanics. How good is the mechanical side of things? That is terrible. No, I do not want this. Sorry, but your car is a POS. Your truck. I don't want to buy that because that's not what I'm looking for now. Looking for something that's going to be a quick flip and not something that's going to need us to take the whole thing apart, you know. So back to the office. And us leaving this whole time looking at cars every time the customers actually respawn. Resets the customer, so you ain't gonna sell anything if you're not in the office's vicinity. That's kind of how it works. Alright, so the hunt carries on. Let's see what else we've got. Maybe we're gonna have to buy a cheaper car. Let's go and give this NGD Pulse a little glance at it quickly. Let's see if this is maybe one for us. Yep, that's just Funcle driving like a lunatic, guys. Yeah, I don't really care for this tow truck. It's in my books, this thing is the worst thing ever in the game to drive, because I mean, look at that. We can't even go around a corner at 60 kilometers an hour. I think that's what it is. And once again, no handbrake turns. But I mean, like, for something that's a cab over like this thing should be able to turn on a freaking dime. But it doesn't, so hopefully this one we're gonna buy. Let's see, what's the story of this one? See, way too many red flags here. I don't wanna... Thanks, but no thanks. I put my ramps down for no reason. I was hoping this was gonna be a good one. And believe me, those cars are still there. You can still find cars without the red bars and things, because I did it in my other save, my other playthrough that I've got going on. My off-camera playthrough. So that's how I know. Alright, well, let's keep looking, because I think every time you reject the vehicle, it actually disappears off the list, so it won't be presented to you again. Which means you can hopefully get new vehicles in the list popping up. And also our problem is we have a very limited budget because we haven't sold anything yet. How's this one? 50%. It's probably going to be something stupid like a Striker or a Vanguard. Okay, this one looks promising. Poor visual condition. Alright, fourth time lucky. And the repair machine is done again. Okay, let's go and have a look at this car. If this car is not one for us, then I am going to... I don't know what I'm going to do. We'll probably be looking for another one, I guess. But I want to just go and sort out those parts in the repair machine. We're coming along the long way here. Alright, let's park it here. I'm quite hopeful this might be the one. Is this the one? Absolutely not. This is a non-running car. Okay. No. No, I do not want your POS. Alright. Back to the dealership, I guess. Yeah, I'm not having any luck today. Not in this episode finding the car that I'm looking for, guys. Something that's going to be a quick flip, because you know, this is how it goes in real life. If you're a car dealer and you are looking for cars, I guess you have to find something that's going to be a quick flip and not end up costing you too much to repair or too much time. That's kind of what we are also working towards, is not spending too much time on the vehicle. There's a Cortega, but we can't afford it. You know what? I'm thinking maybe we should just check for a Camaro that is decent. Maybe that truck would be decent. I don't know. This one looks... Yeah, 46%. That's our own car. One is too expensive, obviously. No. Definitely not. 54, that's too low. 47, that's too low. 45, that's... Well, that's too expensive anyway. 48. Yeah, these are very hard to come by. If they are in good condition, I guess we will see. Alright, now... Hopefully this is going to be the one, guys. I don't know. 5th time lucky, hopefully. Or don't tell me we're going to have a look at 7 cars and not find something, you know. Well, the pawn shop doesn't have a car today. Let's go around and see if this thing is what we are looking for. Because I'm kind of running low on options here. Alright, let's see. This van. It's another candy van. Alright, is this the one? No, it's not the one. Because it's got brake issues, which isn't too terrible to sort out. And I guess we can do the catalytic converter on this. Okay. Alright. I think this is going to be it. Alright, so, but you are asking 6,500. Let's offer you 5,400. How's that?
I don't
5,410?
I don't know.
5,415. Okay, I'll do it. We'll take it.
Alright, partner. That's the good deal.
Ooh, we got a safe. Yep, we got a safe. Alright, we need to air up the tires, and there's obviously some brake issues and some suspension things that needs attention. So I don't think we need to do everything on this truck. Oh, on this van. I'm just going to do the necessary stuff. And there we go. Load it up. Nice and easy. Simple. I love it when a plan comes together. Alright, let's get back to the dealership. Should we put this thing in the capable hands of Robert and James first? Yes, I think we can. Right, while I sort out the parts in the repair bay, or repair machine. Holy crap, okay, we nearly rolled that thing. Yeah, sometimes I can do some pretty neat stuff. Without even trying, you know? Like almost barrel rolling a lorry into the yard. That's kind of not what I was planning on doing. Alright, let's get this thing in here. Robert, you're going to have to haul ass with this thing, but because I need to get this over to the wash bay before 6 p.m. so that James can wash it for us, because I am not washing another van. Not on this episode. So you carry on, you do that. I'm going to keep an eye on the time there, because James is going to bugger off at 6 p.m. Now, why? What the heck? Come on. Push the wrong button. Let me just lock the safe. I should probably unlock the safe, you know, like... there we go. Alright, this can go in here, and we'll chuck it in there and get that started up, and this can go back in the van. Alright, let's unlock the safe. See what we got in here. Lockpick broken. Alright, now we're screwed. Because we can't buy new lockpicks. Because the pawn shop is closed because it's Sunday. Alright, how far is Robert with this de-rusting of the van? 27, 25, 24? Okay, are we gonna make it? Are we gonna make it? We're not gonna make it. No, we're not gonna make it. Come on, Robert. Come on, bud. You can do it. Yeah, let's all cheer for Robert. Come on, 2 seconds. Now I need to get this thing into the wash bay like pronto. Come on, come on. And that's just my luck crashing into the wall, but we'll make it. Alright, James. Sorry, but you're going to work a little bit of overtime, but I understand. And I think we are paying overtime anyway, so it's going to take about 2 minutes to wash that thing up. So what shall we do? I guess we can go and grab another tanker of fuel. I think let's do that. Let's stock up on our fuel supply. Because heck, that's the only place that's still open. And is that... Are you guys seeing this? There's another rusty car. Now, I can't recall. Oh yeah, I remember now. While I was busy fixing the parts off camera, we got an email for another wreck. Let's go and see what that is. It's actually literally across the road from our dealership, yeah, or, well, next to it, I guess. If you... Yeah, like the bird flies, it's about a couple of meters away from here. Alright, now where is this thing? It shows it's here. Alright, looks like we are car hunting. It might be... I see it. I saw it. I saw it. There it is. It's right over here. What is this? It's a little pulse. Alright, and now our body shop technician left. So we're not going to be able to get this thing fixed up until, well, tomorrow. In game, you know, that is. Alright, so let's get this thing back to the shop. Or dealership. And we'll put this... Well, I can't really put it anywhere because... well, I can probably take it into the repair bay area, but just leave it outside because otherwise the game's gonna freak out again like it did last time. Alright, so let's maybe put this thing... I can probably leave it connected to the van. I mean, why not? It's probably gonna stay here like this. But although I don't want to... Yeah, you can't disconnect the car or the trailer dolly because I want to take the van over to repair bay again where it belongs. I can kind of feel like I need a secondary vehicle for towing stuff if I want to use the dolly. But then again, I don't really need it because we've got that truck there. It's just terrible driving that thing because that thing is like... It's got the turning circle of a spaceship. Alright, so I said I'm just going to do some brakes. Okay, come on. Brakes and fuses, I think. Is that what I said? And then the... Yeah, the catalytic converter, which is... It's easy enough. Let's do that first. We'll do the catalytic converter. Just take care of some of the major issues, because this thing has got quite a bit of rusty holes on this thing. So let's take it off, and we'll put a new one in there. Okay, see, that's quite fast. We still need to do brakes. Let me just see. Brakes. Yeah, it's just brake parts. I think we'll do all the brakes, because that's just the wheels and then the discs and calipers. No unbolting suspension and stuff like that. So, also sort out the battery and the fuses real quick. Let's do that. That's kind of quick and easy. We're just missing a fuse there. I think that's it. Where's another fuse missing? Over there. Okay, so that is a... No idea. 5 amp. Yeah, that's a 5 amp fuse. Okay, so that is sorted in terms of fuses. Let's do the battery. Alright, get those clamps off first, and then we can pop the new battery in. Would you look at that? We've got a customer. Alright, let me just finish up the battery at least. Alright, let's go out here. We'll hit the button for that. Okay, let's go and sell the Phantom Gale. Nice. Hey, uncle. How's it going? Oh, Gary. 22,500. That's the price, sir. Alright, hope she serves you well. That's definitely a grandpa looking car. But it's a good car. We did some work to it, so I'm quite happy with the way that car left our dealership. Alright, let's see here. We gotta take off all the wheels and all the brakes. Brakes is the only thing I'm doing on this. Okay, let's pop that on, and put the wheel back. Nice and simple. Yeah, I think this van was not the best purchase we could have made. Now, why did I do that? Yeah, as I said, it's not the best purchase we made, but at least it's not going to be stripping everything off. Because I think it'll be fine. Just got to take the brakes off of the front here. Pop the new stuff on. I think this one was the one corner that wasn't terrible. And we still need to air up the tires and fill it up with gas. Oh, I'm in assemble mode. Let's just assemble. Let's disassemble. Yeah, there we go. Alright, almost there. Repair machine is done again. Okay, let's finish this first. I mean, we are here. We are doing this. Alright, and last 2 bolts on this wheel. Alright, and then over to that side. Okay. Disassemble. That's the only thing if you are doing, you know, disassembly and then assemble it right after. Constant switching between the 2 modes. Alright, let's pop the new disc on here. New caliper on and the wheel. Yeah, I'm at that stage where I'm just button bashing this, getting the wheels back on. Okay, so now are we done? I think we are done. There's nothing else red. We could have probably just replaced the front shock absorber, but then, nah, screw it. It's okay. I'm happy with this. Alright, let's go get the gas tank filled up and the tires. Starting with the gas. Okay, let's do this. And what's our reputation at? 4,200 that we need to reach. We are 3,400, so that's getting there. We are getting there, guys. This is kind of like probably the slowest process ever. We did take that out. But you know what? It is what it is. Oh, I need to do tires. I can't recall which tire actually needs the air now. Is it all of them or is it just the one? Let me see here. It's just the rear right tire. 3.8 bar. Alright, let's quickly get that pumped up. 3.8. Quite low actually. Alright, that's... There we go. Spot on. Okay, now screw it. I'm not going to take it off. Let's just yank it off like this. There we go. That is off. Alright, let's take this van over to here and then take some pictures of it. Nice candy van up for sale. And then hopefully these cars are going to sell pretty soon. Well, they'll probably only sell in the next episode because I think we have reached our 1 hour mark yet again, guys. So I think it's been quite an eventful episode again. We did quite a bit of things. Sorted out a couple of cars, and I'm very happy with the way that everything is leaving our dealership so far. So guys, do give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed this episode, and also don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. I will appreciate it very much, and then I will see you all in the next one. So cheerio for now.